Hello internet peoples, and welcome to my first recorded video for R-CADE since the official UK lockdown. We're going to be providing a little bit of video content for you guys where we can, and I'd like to start suggesting perhaps doing Sam's Top 10 Tuesdays, where I present to you my 10 favourite of something in my life. And start with something that you'll see in R-CADE quite a lot, which is our Funko Pops. We have custom Funko Pops made by my girlfriend Deanne, which is awesome, and they look just like us, even if Andy's dressed like an anime character. Today I'm just going to be showing you some of the ones that I have. I have a lot. I think at this point I have close to 25, with more that I've pre-ordered, including the likes of Guy Fieri and a couple of new My Hero Academia Pops. So without any further ado, I'm going to give you my top 10 Funko Pop vinyls. None of them are going to be Burt Reynolds, I'm afraid, despite my striking resemblance to a young him at the moment. And they're not going to be in any particular order. So here we go. The first one I've got for you here is this little guy. This is a Funko Pop from the show Big Mouth, and it is the Hormone monster, who is supposed to represent the growing up of various children throughout the show, and it's supposed to be their guide through things like puberty. Next up, and also out of its box, I apologise, I'm going to pick this one second because I've already mentioned the series that it's from, and it's the other one that can't stand up for the life of it. So this is a little Todoroki pop vinyl from the show My Hero Academia, which I started talking about a lot in the shop and started being something that I was pushing on people because I really like the show, and I think it's one that might get people into anime. His superpower in the show, it's a show all about a school for superheroes, is his right side can produce ice and his left side can produce fire. So the reason I like this pop vinyl in particular is because of like just the little additions that they've made so that you can show that off. And he's sort of representing the other ones I've got. I've got a cool Tomura Shigaraki coming soon. I might be ordering a Stain because I've realised that Stain's one of my favourite characters in the series and it feels weird not to have him. But at the current moment I've got the three main. I've got Todoroki, Bakugo and Midoriya, but Todoroki is by far the coolest of the three. So. Next I'll also go for another guy who can't stay standing up, and it's again an anime one, but this is from my favourite anime of all time, the one that got me into anime in the first place, and it's something that I stylistically have been really interested in since I watched it, and it's from Tokyo Ghoul. It is KANEKI, which is the main character of Tokyo Ghoul in his ghoul form. See, this one itself is again similar to Todoroki. They've got the little additions of the tendrils coming out of his back, but also a nod to the show in terms of him cracking his fingers, which is what he does when he's angry and upset and wants to take out his frustrations on someone. And it is so different from most other things I own. Again, stylistically it's something I'm very interested in. Tokyo Ghoul's inspired some of my the clothing I've purchased since I first saw it, style ideas in terms of different parts of my house. You should watch the show. I say you should watch the show, but yeah, he's got various different forms. So there you go, KANEKI from Tokyo Ghoul. I'll show this guy next because I was actually about to get rid of him and try and trade him or donate him to charity or something like that. But as I was looking at the actual figure itself, I realised it's just too cool of like a design to get rid of. And that's Bruce Willis's character Butch from Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. I like Pulp Fiction and I like Quentin Tarantino movies, but I liked it a lot when I was younger, which is when I purchased this little guy. It's the little things of like the red eye, the bleeding nose and the shirt, and his little katana here that he uses to finally break free. That's just slightly different from other pop vinyls. I like all the little additional things that you get added on to these different characters that makes them different, because you can have just a row of people standing very straight and still with these big bug eyes, but I particularly like the ones that just have little additional things that make them slightly different. We're moving on to the first series that I'm trying to complete fully, and it's the Teen Titans Go series. Not fully complete it, but get the characters I like from the show, which would be the original set of the 5 characters, plus I've got Robin as Red X, but that's not what I'm showing you. I'm going to show you Cyborg, because that's just quite a good, like, he's very cool. I like his blue, the little touches of blue that Cyborg has to his look generally, but he's probably the best of the 4 that I've got so far from the franchise, those 4 being Raven himself, Robin, and Robin as Red X. And it is another show that stuck with me as a child, and I just want to collect those guys because it was a cool set, and it's a nice style of comedy and of programming, and the reality is that the Teen Titans Go pop vinyls don't look that much different from if they made the Teen Titans pop vinyls. So it kind of balances out. That being said, Beast Boy does have dumb hair. I can live with that. But like I said, with Butch, I like them to have little additional things. But it's kind of hard to with the earlier pop vinyl models. Just a lot of them are just straight singular mold, which includes Batman from the 1966 Adam West series, which I always say that movie is one of my favourite films because I watched it a lot growing up and I just like the quirkiness of it, especially when you compare it to the Batman trilogy and the new darker take that DC is going with. And Adam West himself is a quirky guy, especially when he's transitioning to things like Catman in Fairly Odd Parents and various other just weird things he did. Family Guy as the mayor. So yeah, 1966 Adam West Batman. And hopefully my tangents feel like you're still in the shop, because you know I'm doing my usual of starting to talk about something and then wanting to move on. So this guy is Unmasked Tommy from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now Power Rangers is one of my favourite franchises. You'll have heard me talk about it a lot. It was a show I watched a huge amount growing up and inspired, you know, my attitude towards morality in a lot of ways. So I have this guy, and I have all of the original 6 from Mighty Morphin Unmasked, and I have the Megazord, and I got all of these from Forbidden Planet before they moved. And the reason I have them all is a friend of mine very kindly gave me some Forbidden Planet vouchers that he wasn't going to use, and it was enough that I could purchase the entire 6. And I think there's something nice about having them unmasked, because you get to see the personalities of the characters behind the masks, and the whole point of Power Rangers being more than just about fighting. It's also like a teen show, and you get to see the characters grow and change in their relationships. So I like Tommy. I've also just realised looking at him now that he's got his little earring on as well. The other show I watched a lot growing up was Yu-Gi-Oh! And I played the card game, and you can play me if you come to the shop if I have cards, which is almost never. And always my favourite card was the Blue Eyes White Dragon, because it's just, it's epitomised, I think, more than any other card as being the most important one in the series. You know, whether that be what sparks Yugi and Kaiba's war, or rivalry is more accurate, what breaks the hearts of so many people, and the fact that it's limited, but it's not ludicrously limited to 1. There's 3, and they play with that a lot. So because of that, I do have this really cool Blue Eyes White Dragon pop. Now again, this is so different from the other ones, and goes back to what I was saying about little additions. So it's not static, it's not standing perfectly still, and it's not just got the weird bug eyes. The fact that he's got like the wings and the tail, and it could have been a very straightforward, straight up and down, facing forwards, like no nonsense. But the fact that they took some creative license and gave him, like, you know, little additional extent pieces is really cool. We've got 8 so far, and the final 2 that I'm going to show you are both from properties that I quite like, but again, it's not all of the ones that I've shown you have been things that I adore. It's just more like sometimes pop vinyls can be cool outside of their property. So what I've got to show you first is the character Baby from Baby Driver with his sunglasses on. So Baby from Baby Driver, a great film. I don't like the ending to the movie, but I do like the concept, and I like the musical styling, and I like how it's all edited to the music, and how it was very important for Edgar Wright when making it. Hello Robert, yes, I've mentioned Edgar Wright. I like his sunglasses, I think that's very cool. He's got his earphones in, of course, again, music an important part. His hands in his pockets because he's just going somewhere his business. Baby from Baby Driver, really cool. There's a special edition one that's more expensive without the sunglasses. I don't know why you would do that, because it's just such a cool visual. He's just like a cool guy, and if you don't have the sunglasses, he's back to being like, you know, wide-eyed, and he just looks like a scared man on the subway listening to music. But here he's just like a cool cat. So, and then the last one to finish off is one of the earliest ones I remember buying. My number 10, the final one I'm going to show you, is Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. Oh wait, sorry, I've messed up. It's this version of Gus Fring. It's right after the explosion in the hospital, where I think it's Senor Hector, is that the man's name? Attempts to kill, and successfully does kill, Gus Fring. But in doing so, he tries to run away, and instead of the blast hitting his entire body, it only hits the right side of his face. The reason I have this one, I'm not a massive Breaking Bad fan. I won't be able to talk to you about it for a long period of time. It's not a show that I spent a lot of time watching. I finished it, I've completed the series, but I could not tell you much about it. What I can tell you is this scene. And this scene was ridiculously cool to me when I first watched it, and it still is, because just the way it's shot and the visual effects and the physical effects is really impressive to view, even as someone who's not a massive film buff. But the way they shot this scene was, as I say, he's trying to escape from an explosion, it explodes, and you think he's fine, because he gets up in the hospital and you see him from this side on. and the camera slowly goes around his body, so it's panning. You just see he's fine, he's gotten up, he's alright, he's healthy. Oh my god, half his face is missing. That is all of his skin and bone. Oh dear. And that sort of has set me on this journey in a lot of ways. This and the Teen Titans collection were just ones that were available to me, available through local means in terms of stores like Geekaboo, which are incredible, and Tokyo Toys, both of which you should go and check out once all this is over and see if you can find some cool stuff there. At the meantime, that's the top 10. There's a variety of them. And I look forward to doing some more top 10 Tuesdays here for R-CADE on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, across our social media. So comment down below what you think of my favourite pop vinyls, if you have any of your own. And hopefully we can chat about this in person when it's all done. Until next week when I do another top 10 Tuesday. Thank you and have a good day, guys. Bye.